The sedition law. Is it good or is it bad? Well, we can't tell you that, but do you know what's common between Kanhaiya Kumar, Arundhati Roy, Aseem Trivedi, Umar Khalid, Andrew Sam Raja Pandian, Dhaval Patel, Amulya Leona Narona, and Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi? This sedition law. A law that is over 150 years old in India, exists in many parts of the world, and has been freely used by many successive governments in India. Now, you may ask again, is the sedition law good or bad? We can't tell you that, but we can answer the following. Is strongly criticizing the government sedition? No. Is raising anti-government slogans sedition? No, but depends on what you say in your slogan. Is asking people to peacefully protest against the government sedition? No, but if there is an off chance the protest can get out of hand, then you could be charged with sedition. And is that right? No comments. To know more, here's presenting a brief history of sedition and everything else you need to know about it. The law of sedition has existed since 1590 in England. It came to India with the British Raj and got added to the Indian Penal Code in 1870 as Section 124A. But the case that actually redefined the sedition law was the one against Bal Gangadhar Tilak. The judge presiding over the trial broadened the scope of the law, equating disaffection to disloyalty. Tilak went to jail then, and then twice again. And then, in 1922, Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi stood trial on the charges of bringing or attempting to excite disaffection towards the British government. Matlab, he was accused of inciting people against the British government, but non-violently. Gandhi pleaded guilty to all charges and said, Section 124A, under which I'm happily charged, is perhaps the prince among the political sections of the IPC designed to suppress the liberty of the citizen. The question then is, if sedition was used to suppress free speech pre-independence, how and why does it still exist? Glad you asked. क्योंकि जब भारत आजाद हुआ था and the rights of freedom were being discussed, the use of the word seditious was widely debated. Some like Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel and C. Rajagopalachari supported including the word seditious. Others like K.M. Munshi and Somnath Lahiri opposed it. Eventually, the word sedition disappeared from the constitution, but not from the Indian Penal Code, where it still remains and is used. Now, can we just simply tell you if the law is good or bad? We can't, but we can tell you what the courts have said. Consider the case Kedarnath Singh versus the state of Bihar. Kedarnath was convicted of sedition for making an anti-government speech. Now, kaun tha ye Kedarnath Singh? A member of the Forward Communist Party, he made a fiery speech strongly criticizing the Congress Party in Bihar in 1953, calling them gundas and inviting a sedition case on himself. The Supreme Court upheld the conviction, saying the words spoken by him were aimed at creating disorder by violent means, but also added that just arousing bad feelings against the government or writing strong criticism of the government cannot be considered seditious. Again, can we just simply tell you if this law is good or bad? We can't, but we can tell you that in the UK where the law originated, it was abolished in 2009. Now, why should we care? Let's imagine this to be the climax of a blockbuster movie about fighting for the love of your country. The Constitution of India guarantees freedom of speech and expression with reasonable restrictions. Is sedition a reasonable restriction? Not in the Constitution, but has been applied as one by courts. Is it a tool that is often misused? Yes. Can we do without that tool? Probably. Like many well-known TV personalities say these days, nation comes first. And we absolutely agree. But that definition of the nation has to come from its people and its constitution. So then, should Section 124A or the sedition law be repealed? The answer to that really depends on you and what kind of freedom you prefer.